Yeah, so hello everyone. Is the audio video working fine? Yeah, hi Dima. Is the audio video working fine? Okay, perfect. So just give me 3-4 more minutes. I think Nadhula is going to join in the next few minutes. Yeah, hi Shubhani. Is the audio video screen share all of them working perfectly fine? Audio video screen share? Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So we will be starting in the next couple of minutes. I think right now we have with us, yeah, I think Nadhula is going to join us in some time. So Nadhula is one of our ex-students who's actually cleared level 2 and is now going to join level 3. So we're just waiting for him to join. And again, it's a weekend. So I'm just expecting participants to join a bit late, as in maybe a minute or two late. But yeah, I really appreciate Shubhani that you joined. In fact, you joined way before time. I think you joined around 6:55 or something. So it's very good. Yeah, hi. So Nadhula is also here. So Nadhula, is my audio, video, screen share, everything working perfectly fine now? Yeah, Nadhula, if you could confirm, is my no, Nadhula, we cannot. I cannot hear you. Dima or Shubhani, are you all able to hear Nadhula? Yeah, Nadhula, I think we cannot hear you. Okay, one second, one second. I'll just Nadhula. Okay, Nadhula, Nadhula, can you speak now? I've allowed you to talk. Can you speak now?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Okay, yeah, perfect. I
Okay.
think we can start the webinar now. And this webinar is also going to be recorded. So there are some other candidates in other parts of the world in case they want to attend, or in case they want to go through this webinar later, they can also go through it. So that is why we are also uh, recording this webinar. And also welcome Ravi. I'll also just, yeah. So first of all, I know today is a weekend, and in
Hi,
a
good evening.
weekend, yeah,
Thank
good
you.
evening, Ravi. Yeah. So on a weekend, you all have taken time to attend this webinar. So thank you very much for that. Now, we also have with us Nadhula. So Nadhula is one of our ex-students, and I'm not going to waste a lot of time for you, Nadhula. So rather than you going through this entire webinar, I think in the next few minutes, I'll just ask you to share your experiences in a very candid way, as in whatever worked for you. And it's not that you coming on behalf of Kaplan, but yeah, let's say you get a chance to directly speak to a few candidates who are trying for level to exams and whatever advice that you would like to give them. But before that, I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Shanin Thomas, and I head the CFA program for Abu Dhabi. But then, yeah, I am also actively involved in trainings in Dubai. So I've actually recently moved to Dubai, and I do a lot of training programs in Dubai. So I teach CFA level 1, level 2, and level 3. In addition to that, I also do training programs for different topics like financial modeling, equity research, value investing. I am myself a value investor. I actively invest in the equity markets, both publicly listed companies and private companies. And this entire topic of finance is something that I really enjoy as a student, as a teacher, and also as a practitioner. So uh, I generally, as a trainer, I like to connect whatever conceptual things that we study in CFA with real world examples. And just to give you a quick background, so prior to taking up training, so I've been doing training since more than 8 years. Prior to that, I've worked in the equity research investment banking industries. So I worked with JP Morgan in their investment banking team covering North American banking and asset management companies. Prior to that, I worked with a firm named Crest Financial Services, which was again into providing services to boutique investment banks and private equity firms. So that's about me. Now about Kaplan. So again, uh, I won't be spending again a lot of time talking about Kaplan, and I'm assuming you all know a lot about Kaplan and CFA. But yeah, a quick overview is that Kaplan is one of the biggest training services provider in the world, and one of our core domain has always been finance. So Kaplan provides training for different finance courses: CFA, CMA, FRM, CPA, CAIA, and there's so many finance certifications, and Kaplan is generally the leader in almost all these finance certifications, and especially in CFA. So CFA is something that Kaplan has been doing for a long time, and uh, and that's evident by the fact that if you see even the nodes that people use generally, regardless of whether they come to a prep provider for learning or even if they are doing it on their own, they always study from Kaplan's Schwezer materials. So it's basically a case where Kaplan has put so much effort in understanding the entire curriculum, and now they have, in a way, summarized all of those in a very small book. So that's how Kaplan understands the CFA curriculum, and that's about Kaplan. Now, before I move ahead and talk about CFA and the exam dates, I really don't want Nadhula to spend his weekend on this, especially because he has already cleared level 2. So I'll just quickly introduce Nadhula. So see, I have not personally gotten a chance to interact a lot with Nadhula because our interaction was during revision sessions, if I'm not wrong. But I've heard a lot about him, that as in the way you've studied and how comfortably you've cleared the exam. And I just again, there was a LinkedIn post shared, and that is when I actually saw Nadhula on LinkedIn, and then I was just checking, and I was really impressed to also see Nadhula is an under 19 cricket player also. So he has represented a country, Sri Lanka, in under 19 cricket, and Sri Lanka is a very good team when it comes to cricket. So I was surprised that, yeah, I was teaching someone who has played for a international team. But yeah, very good, Naudula. And I think, yeah, off to you. So just few things I really want you to share is what you have done in terms of um, how you prepared for the exam. What did you study from? How many hours on an average did you put? What has been your exam strategy like? And in general, your experience with Kaplan and throughout this journey of studying for CFA level 2.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Shannon, for the introduction, and thank you for everyone who's attending. I guess I'll try to keep it as short as possible, and make it as useful. And I'll probably start with a small background to myself, and because the context is important. to understand the method of my preparation, because everyone is not, built in the same way. So you might have your own way of studying, what works for you. So that's something that works for me, and that's something that you're uniquely comfortable in working towards achieving that pass that you're all working hard for. And then I'll probably take you through the preparation of what I did, and probably just a few bits and pieces on the last 2 weeks, my focus towards the exam day, right? Shanan, I think I would about like 10 minutes be good enough?
Yeah.
Or...
No problem. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So yes, as Shanan mentioned, my interaction with Shanan was very brief during the revision sessions. And my journey with Kaplan was since level 1. So congratulations to all of you who have cleared level 1. Level 1, definitely, I mean, you would say was challenging. You all put your hard work into it. So I guess level 2, I guess the expectation is that you need to just keep going at it, right? The background to myself, if I were to just tell you a quick background, yeah, I come from a sports background, not really very, what can I say, studious student or a person who was into academics much, but I would say I would put myself in a mediocre level of education. So the reason why I'm saying this to you is you don't necessarily have to be extremely smart to get through the CFA level 2, because I'm not extremely smart. But yes, my work ethic towards achieving that was pretty consistent. And you need to put in a lot of time and effort towards achieving that goal. I'll probably quote a discussion that I had with my brother last year, right? So I was planning to buy a vehicle, and then I told him, like, you see, none of the luxury vehicles are coming within my budget. And he just told me one thing which struck me quite hard. He's like, Nadhula, if it was if you're looking for a luxury vehicle and you're trying to buy it within your budget, it would not be a luxury vehicle. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting, because of course I had a very, I would say, average budget. So same with CFA. You are working towards something that is, you can say, extremely prestigious, the gold standard, they say, of the finance industry. So yes, it doesn't come without a price. The price to pay is your time, effort, commitment, the hard work that you put into it. So, when I'm talking about the next, I will probably go on to explain my preparation. The reason why I gave you my background is you would know that I am a candidate that really needs to work hard towards, achieving the grades to pass, because I'm not the smartest in the class. I always sit at the back of the class because I feel like everyone else is smarter than me in the class. So it's a comfort that I'm comfortable with sitting at the back. So the way I started preparing for the level 2 exam was, I started early. That was very important for me. I felt I needed all the time that was there for me to take my own time to go through the material and to be comfortable with what's being taught. And I always try to read up on the text, the Schweser text specifically. I don't go through the CFA text books because they're way too, I would say, exhaustive. I mean, I didn't have the time because I'm also full-time at work, married with 2 kids. So time is precious. And but that was the most resourceful document that I used was the Schweser textbooks, which essentially has everything that you need to know about the CFA Level 2 exam in a short, concise way that is understandable when you read it. And also I used the CFA, not CFA, the Schweser videos that were along with the, which comes along in the portal, right? So that part of the videos I did after the lectures that I attended to. So I would read up the text in the Schweser textbook, and then I go attend the class. What can I say? The concepts and the information is clarified at the class. Then I also make sure that if I don't understand, then I always speak to Bilal or the lecturer who is there. I mean, in this case, it might be Shanin for you, who then, you know, if I need to get some additional help, then they definitely always stay back, help me, and individually they'll support you on that. So, and they're always ready to help. So they've never had a problem with that. You can even text them if you had something that needs to be clarified. So once I've gone through those texts, I would go and sit in the class. I already am familiar with what's coming during the class. So I'm not trying to figure things out at the class. I'm just trying to clarify my doubts during class. So that, in a way, is you kind of prepare yourself for the lecture, right? So that, I think, helped me quite a bit. Of course, not all sessions I was able to keep up with the text. There are certain sessions that I couldn't read up before the class, but my best effort basis on that. Then post that, I would look at the videos which were there on the Schweser portal, and usually their videos are quite short and quite kind of fun to go through. So I go through that, and I try to, once I've done reading up, I would always do the blue box text questions which are in the Schweser book, as well as the CFA curriculum has questions at the end of the chapter. So I would have probably done all the questions on the blue box in the Schweser textbook and all the questions of the CFA curriculum. So this was my study preparation, right? So I know it sounds quite a bit, and also something that I did for level 2, which I didn't do for level 1, was because the texts are quite in depth and breadth. The breadth of it is quite a lot. The content is quite heavy, and I'm not, again, the smartest student in the class and pros, I would say. So I always did my own short notes of which I thought were important points to have, you know, just for a quick reference. And I just stuck them on the wall, you know, in my study room. So I have pretty much all the formulas, all the important little areas of it. And I kind of made my own assumptions that, okay, this could be a nice question for the exam. You know? If I was the examiner, I probably would ask this because this is interesting area, which probably is examinable. So I've always tried to make it a fun thing rather than just a thing I have to get through. And the CFA for me is not about just getting through an exam. It's about an educational process. So I kind of like the learning. So that's my approach to it. And I think that would be a good approach for everyone sitting for the exam, because ultimately you need to use this for your professional career as well. I'm within the, you know, private banking, wealth management, asset management business. So it helps me a lot for my day-to-day work. And I'm sure some of you are, or some of you are aspiring to get into the this field. So it will definitely help you in understanding financial markets and so on. The focus of CFA level 2 is valuation. So if I were to say the CFA level 2, what's the whole point? It's about valuation. How do you value a stock? How do you value a bond? How do you value an option? how will a certain what do you call treatment of accounting affect the value of the company. So I guess keeping that in mind, if you can answer to any concept these three questions, which is what is it, and why is it important, and how do you arrive at that valuation? If you just can answer these three questions, I think you understood the concept, right? Now this is my preparation, right? So the last point is the last 2 weeks, I think, which is a very important part of passing the exam, is to be focused towards the last 2 weeks as to you need to have practiced enough questions, be familiar with the terms, and spend enough time, and it becomes a habitual thing. So you have already, by the time you've done your text reading and the questions in the textbook and on the CFA curriculum book, you've probably already gone through, I would say, 500-600 questions across all these text. So towards the and another important resource that I kind of used towards the end of the preparation in the last 2 weeks is that in the CFA portal, you get these QBank questions, and it rates you based on your marking on those questions. They would rate you to say, okay, are you good at it? Are you average? Or are you quite good at it? I mean, very good at it. And it kind of segregates it into the 10 modules that is there in the CFA level 2. So I used to attempt those questions and see where I, rated myself. So I think in the last 1 month, that was my focus. And I would try hard to get to that very good status of in that module. And if I was weak in that module, I used to go back to read up on some of the sections that was not clear to me or I was weak in. And I would say, of course, not all, I was at a very good state, but probably towards the last week of the exam, I think at least 8 out of those 10 modules, I was at the higher end of that rating. And also one thing that I used to do is whenever I get a question wrong, I would go and read up the text that was related to it and clarify my thinking. It's probably a pattern of thinking. Once you're used to that pattern of thinking during the exams, the pattern is already formed in your mind, and it's much more easier to respond to. So the last 2 weeks, I will just come back to that point. The last 2 weeks, my focus was question answers, and then there are question bank papers, which are, I think, 2 of the SWESA and about 2 or 3 again in CFA portal. And I used to time those papers and do them. And I would say roughly 60 to 70% of, I've tried to achieve at least 65-70% in points there. So so this was the last 2 weeks. I used to focus on timed exams and clarifying points. And I went through, so I had done my own short notes, which are those papers that I told you that I drew up and put up on the wall. So in the last week, I went through all of them just to make sure that, okay, I've just refreshed my memory on them. And the FRA text, which was quite lengthy and probably not my strongest area, I went through that text one more time because it's more theory driven rather than just practice. So that was how I prepared my last 2 weeks. So this is how I think I prepared and what worked for me. But again, it sounds like a lot of work. Shanin did ask me to say how much hours did you put in it, but I would say it would be close to 400 hours of work if because I actually tried to make this calculation before. I was like, how many hours do you think I put in? So I had done around 1,000 questions on the portal, and 5 past papers before the exam. So, and all the lectures that you go to, they all count. So starting early, having enough time is important. It's not the easiest exam that I faced, for sure. But the questions that come in the paper are very clear. You're not trying to understand the question. They are very, very well written. So if you know if you've been through it, if you know the content, you would not find it of any trouble to kind of answer those questions. Probably 1 or 2 might have been a little confusing, or maybe I didn't, it was not familiar to me. But then again, you're not expected to get 100. You're expected to get probably around anywhere between 65 or 70, I think estimated to be the pass rate. So you can afford to make a few mistakes. If some things are difficult, I just skip them during the exam and I went to the next. Because time there is you are usually not time pressured on the exam. I felt like there was just sufficient time to do to not rush through the exam. There's enough time to sit through the whole paper. So I think with Kaplan resources, the lectures, and what's there on the CFA portal as a whole, you have everything that you need to get through the exam. It's just your commitment, hard work, and time and effort to it. Yeah, I think.
Perfect. So thank you very, very much, Nadhula, for your time, and also kind of explaining it in detail, what has worked for you and how you did it. And I really hope it helps others. And the video is also recorded, which is going to go to many more participants. So I really hope this helps others also in their preparation. And also, by the way, welcome to Level 3. Hope to see you in the classes soon for Level 3.
Yeah, looking forward to it next week.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Shanin.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
you, Nadhula.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah, guys. So that was Nadhula. Now we will continue with what we are going to discuss now further. So we'll be talking about the CFA qualification, which you all know most of it, and then what exactly that is. We will talk about some career opportunities and what are some changes in the CFA exam, and how Kaplan is going to help you. What are our batches? How is it going to be done? The dates, all of that is what we will be talking about. Now, before I move ahead, has anyone given the CFA Level 2 exam before? Or this is the first time for all of you? Have you all given the Level 2 exam before? For Shwan, it's first time. Okay, perfect. Okay, fine. So again, so in that case, talking about changes might not add a lot of value, but still, about the CFA exam, as you would know, CFA is one of the most popular certifications in finance. This is not the only certification, by the way. There are many certifications, but then it's been seen that this particular certification has been valued a lot by the industry, and it is very well recognized. And the CFA as an institute, I would say, is very, very good in branding and marketing. So they've definitely created this brand for CFA, and it's definitely not just marketing. The curriculum is also very good. It's detailed, it is vast. There are a lot of things that are getting covered in this curriculum, and that is why, if you see, this is the gold standard in the finance certifications. Now, talking about the process. So for you, enrollment is not a question. Level 1 is not something that you have, and these are done and dusted. So for you, what matters is Level 2. So Level 2 exams for you right now is, so in 2022, Feb is anyways done. So there is August and November. 2023 onwards, right? So onwards, 2023, 2024, every time there will be 3 exams in May, August, and November. So now for you, you all are aiming for this one, August 2022. Now, if you clear the August 2022 exam, when can you give your Level 3? So Level 3 exams will be done twice in a year, in Feb and August. So what matters to you here is this one, Feb 2023. So after August, if you clear the level 2 exam, then by Feb 2023, you can clear your level 3 exam. So within a year, right now it is Feb, within a year, you can get done with your level 3 exams, assuming you clear all the attempts. So level 3 exams, generally the results will come somewhere in end of April or May. And by that time, you can basically, that is the earliest that you can become a CFA charter holder. Now, is this enough to become a charter holder? No. After this, you need to have, not after this, but along with this, totally you need to have 3 years of relevant work experience. Now, when we say relevant, it has to be some way or the other related to finance decision making. So as long as it is some way related to finance decision making, that's considered relevant and you can apply for CFA charter holder. Okay. Now, I'll talk about the level 2 exams in the next slide. So level 2 exams conducted in August 2022. Now, level 2 exams consist of case studies, what they call it as vignettes. Now, here you don't have, in level 1, you would have seen 180 multiple choice questions. So question, 3 options, question, 3 options, question, 3 options. That is not how it is. Here, there will be a complete case study and there will be 4 to 6 questions related to that case study. So the final question is going to look like the level 1 itself. But level 1, all 180 questions are individually different. That is not the case here. Here, you're going to have a case study, a question, and then 3 options. Again, a question, 3 options. But all these questions, these 4 to 6 questions are related to one single case study. Okay. You all will have around 88 questions. So there will be session 1, session 2. Session 1, there will be 44 questions. Session 2, 44 questions. These 44 questions will be in 10 to 15 case studies, right? And after this how much time? 3 minutes per question. So you can see that it will be 2 hours and 12 minutes. Same here, 2 hours, 12 minutes. So there is 3 minutes per question. That's how it is going to be. So 88 questions in total. Results, you're going to get a pass or fail result within 60 days of the exam. We are hoping this to come down and there will be topic wise scores. So just like what you've seen in level 1, right? You all got topic wise scores exactly that way. You all will get topic wise scores here. Is it more than 70, 50 to 70 or less than 50? Right? And how much is the minimum passing scores? Undisclosed. We have absolutely no idea. Nobody has any idea about it. Everybody can just speculate. Passing rate. So what percentage of people clear the exam? Although this number is not wrong, but I would not consider this, right? Why? Because things have changed. Especially I've seen post, since this has become a computer based exam, and especially after COVID, the passing rates have gone down. So I think you all should expect somewhere close to 40%, right? So which means kind of out of 100, 40% would clear. So somewhere like 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 2.5 is expected to clear the exam. So it's not a very easy exam. See, remember, all of these have cleared the already difficult level 1. So after clearing level 1, if only 40% of the students clear level 2, which means, yes, there is something difficult. And if you see, the talk among students always is, out of all 3 levels, level 2 is the most difficult, right? And I won't disagree to it, but I don't completely agree to it also. So level 3 is definitely difficult. It is vast, way vaster than level 1. But yeah, it's a slightly different type of an exam, as in you'll have to read a lot of case studies. All of these things make it a bit difficult, or makes it a bit different from the normal exam. Next, let's go ahead. Talking about the exam weightage and the areas in the exam. So these are the 10 areas. So if you see the same 10 areas that you saw in level 1, you have it in level 2. Absolutely no difference, right? But here, the important exams and unimportant exams have changed. So if you see, there are these 5 which are, I would say, important. These 5 which I would say very important. right? So quants, economics, corporate finance, derivative, all these have 5 to 10% weightage, which means you can expect 1 to 2 case studies. Okay. Here, you can expect somewhere 2 to 3 case studies. For ethics is generally 2 case studies. FRA, 2, maybe sometimes 3. Fixed income, 3. Equity and portfolio, you can expect 2. But yeah, this is basically how it generally is. But yeah, these are the topic areas. Now, what does it cover? Ethics, exactly the same. FRA, it goes ahead, as in whatever you have studied in level 1, now it goes ahead into multinational operations, currency translation, intercorporate investments, pension accounting, evaluating financial reports. All of these things get covered. Equity investments is completely start to end valuations. How to value stocks. This is something that is needed for equity research interviews. So if you go for equity research interviews, investment banking interviews, this is what they're going to ask you the most for. Then you have fixed income investments, which is all about bonds, duration, and risk management. Portfolio management is passive management, active management, ETFs, how all these things work. Quants is mainly regression and time series analysis. They have also introduced big data and machine learning in this curriculum. Economics is very simple, straightforward, but a new topic is currency exchange rates, as a new as in something that you might not have studied a lot in level 1. That is basically in detail covered in level 2. Then we have corporate finance. Now, corporate finance is taking ahead the same thing that you studied in level 1, capital budgeting and capital structure, dividends, share repurchase analysis, and very importantly, mergers and acquisitions. So wonderful topic that is there in the August or in the level 2 curriculum. Derivative is completely pricing and valuation. So there are 2 readings: pricing and valuation of forward commitments, pricing and valuation of options. So it's basically pricing and valuation of derivative instruments. And finally, we have alternative investments. It's mainly real estate and private equity, right? Doesn't get into detail of others, but yeah, real estate, private equity, and a part of commodities, but mainly real estate and private equity. Then, talking about the changes, see, for you, it might not be kind of very applicable, but yeah, let me just tell you. So earlier there was a topic in quants called as excerpt from probabilistic approaches. It's not there. Corporate governance and other ESG consideration, they've just changed it to ESG considerations, right? So the focus is now only ESG. And then there is publicly traded real estate securities. This has been taken out, but it's not really taken out. It has been put into real estate securities. So earlier, publicly traded real estate security, which is REITs, and privately traded real estate security or private real estate securities were 2 different readings. They've been clubbed together. Now, what are few new readings that have been added? So there's a reading added on ESG, and there's a reading added on backtesting. So honestly speaking, not a huge change. So a lot of times students have asked me, I have a book, 2021 book already purchased. Should I buy a new book for 2022? For level 1 students, I ask them to buy. For level 2, it's okay if you don't buy, because most of the changes are very, very minor here. Okay. Then talking about the exam registration, this is the CFA Institute. You don't have to worry about the first deadline, as in it's already gone. Program enrollment is also something that you don't have to worry about. So anyone registering for August 2022, what matters for you is this one, the $1,000. Okay. So you just have to pay $1,000 and you will get the exam registration for you. You have already enrolled in the program, so nothing to worry. So once you register for the exam, you're going to get the ebook from the CFA Institute. Those, remember the one you've got in level 1 also. and you will get topic based practice tests. This is the best source for practicing questions. Exam questions are very similar to this, as in they just almost similar, and I have maybe some words here and there, but it is very similar to these practice tests. So I think this is something that you should never ignore. So study these practice tests. So this is basically your exam, or this is basically where you need to study from or prepare from. Okay, just a second. Yeah. Now, talking about how CFA, how Kaplan can help you in this CFA journey. So first, we talk about why Kaplan for CFA. Again, in a very unbiased way, as in if I was your friend and if I have to tell you what are, as in, and I've observed how Kaplan works. So if I have to tell you what are some ways in which Kaplan is different from others, is one, we never rely on freelancers. I have seen we've made that mistake in past, and what we have seen is most of the competitors around, they like to work with freelancers, and what we have seen is it is very transactional with freelancers, because you have a free, see, and our sessions are in the evening 6:30 to 9:30. It's very easy to outsource it, have freelancers come and take the sessions. But with freelancers, what we've seen is the relationship that they have with students is kind of, yeah, we get paid for per hour, we teach for 3 hours, that's it, right? And this is something that we don't want. Our culture has always been student support, even inside, as in inside the class and beyond, outside the class also. And that is one reason why we only have full-time CFA trainers. So you would be completely trained. So level 2, I think there will only be 2 trainers that you might come across. So one would be me and the other one would be a professor named Bilal. So we both of us would be teaching most of the curriculum. Second huge advantage that you get with Kaplan is the books. Now, wherever you go, even if you join another prep provider, what you would see is the books would be Kaplan. Now, in case they don't give you Kaplan, there are Wiley materials also. Now, if you see the market share, 95% of the students, they study from Schwezer and Wiley. I've personally, we have personally seen the books, right? As in, we have, prior to Kaplan, it was Genesis, right? So prior to Kaplan, we had the option of going for Schwezer or Wiley, but we've seen the huge difference in quality and the way the curriculum is structured in Schwezer books, and that is definitely the best that you can get in the industry. So these are definitely the 2 biggest value add, or the 2 biggest USPs that KPME or Kaplan Professional can bring for you. And in addition to that, the student support culture. So in general, one thing that you will see is most of the trainers that we have is very passionate about teaching, and they are always ready to go over and above what their responsibilities are, right? As in, see, for us, it's about teaching, but then we definitely go beyond teaching in kind of working with the students. We realize that this is not a 120-hour interaction. It is basically a relationship to help students grow, mentor them, and help them clear the exam. Okay, so now who are going to be teaching you CFA exams? So there will be Bilal. Yasser, you might not come across because he's currently not based in UAE, but yeah, he still is with us. So you will be taught by me, Shanin. Then there is Rahul, he's with us in Dubai. Murtaza, he's in Abu Dhabi. Kunal is in Abu Dhabi. But yeah, all of us teach all levels of CFA. Rahul is in Abu Dhabi, and there is Shiv in Dubai. So primarily, level 2 would be taken by Bilal, Shiv, Shannon. As in, you're going to come across 3 of us more, and most of it would be done by Bilal and me, right? So again, although all of us are equally qualified, all of us teach CFA, almost all the topics. We have our own expertise, but yeah, all of us teach. But then in this year, the one which you all are enrolling for, it's more like, as in the schedule is out, you all are more likely to see both of us. Now, the training programs. So when it comes to training, what are the different ways or the different medium in which Kaplan delivers the training? So there is classroom-based training, that is face-to-face training. There's live online. Now, live online is basically live streaming of the classroom sessions. So the same classroom sessions, imagine if there were 5 students sitting next to me and then sitting in front of me, they are attending face-to-face and you all are attending live online, right? So it's just the live streaming of a face-to-face session and study material. So you can opt for either one of these. And in case you go for classroom or face-to-face training, study materials will all anyways be provided. Otherwise, in case you just want the study materials, but I would really suggest don't go just for study materials, because that's not going to help, as in just getting the books might not be enough, right? Although they are very, very good book, but then that is good for someone who is already into this and they know the topic already and they just want to quickly go through those topics, then it's fine. But otherwise, you would need a complete prep. Now, talking about how the sessions would be done. So classroom sessions spread or is there are two things that are involved in classroom sessions. There's a phase which is prep, right? This is a phase which starts somewhere in March, plus then we'll teach it in April, May, and June. So these 4 months, you all will be learning and we will be teaching you the curriculum. So there will be more than 120 hours of lectures covering the entire curriculum in detail. We'll give a lot of examples. You all will be given whether the slides from where we teach. You all will be given the recordings of the video sessions. So in case you all miss out on some sessions, nothing to worry about it. You all will get additional practice tests and doubt solving sessions after that, right? And then in July, we have revision. Revision are intense sessions which are done to recall, so that you all are able to recall all the old topics. Now, why revision is because, see, remember, CFA is a one-day exam. You don't get chance to go through kind of a lot of curriculum and then one day you have to go through corporate finance. After 3 days, you have to go to equity. That's not how it is. One day, all 10 topics you all need to remember. And you would have, see, you all have cleared level 1, right? And you would have cleared it quite recently. You all know how challenging it is to study everything on a single day. And that is where revision helps, to put all those things in your mind just before the exam, right? So that is basically what revision sessions are about. Revision sessions are full day sessions. So this is basically 6 full day sessions. 6 full day sessions. These are basically approximately 40 half days, right? Generally the timings are 6:30 to 9:30. Okay. What is live online? Live online is the same of the just the live streamed version of the classroom session. Everything else is exactly the same, right? It's just that the way you all attend would be slightly different, but it is very, very interactive. You can ask questions, you can even talk, you can unmute yourself and ask, you all can chat, everything is possible. So it is very, very interactive. So there's definitely, there's, I would say, no difference between classroom and face-to-face, classroom and live online. It is just personal preference, I would say. So someone enjoys live online, someone enjoys classroom, so it's completely up to you. But anyone who enrolls for face-to-face is allowed to come for live online, but anyone who enrolls for live online is not allowed to come for face-to-face sessions. Okay, then, sorry, yeah, continuing, if you just want the study materials, if you don't want anything else, just the study materials, Kaplan will provide you just the study materials also. Now, what do you get in just the study materials? You get those 5 books covering the entire curriculum. You will get practice exams in the online format. You will get a study calendar. You will get a quick sheet which has all the formula sheet. It's as good as a formula sheet. You will get the question bank, right? So there will be a lot of questions. See, this is not practice exams. Question bank is where there will be 3,000 questions. Practice exams are just like exams, mock exams. And you will have the Schwezer online resource library. So all those things, as in you will have a LMS, learning management system access, where you can access all of these. Okay, so that is basically study materials provided by Schwezer. Now, in addition to this, you all are also going to have Kaplan Professional Middle East. That is our learning management system. What are you going to see here? I'll show it to you. Okay, I'll show it to you. How does it work? So let's say, so there will be a URL given to you, learn.kaplanprofessionalme, and a login ID and password will be given to you. So you will be able to go through all the notes, everything, right? I'll just show it to you, an example. So let's say in Dubai, level 2. So this is basically not, see, your program has already been created, August 2022. So this is, let me show an old one, how it was done. So let's say this is August 2021 revision, right? So level 2, August 2021 revision. As a student, you will see something like this. This is basically at my end, but as a student, you will have access to something like this. Your entire course schedule will be here. So there's just the revision by them. Okay. Then you all will have the online link. All the videos are recorded. So everything that you do gets recorded. Then you have the class notes. So everything that we teach, let's say I have taught you guys valuation of options, right? So all those class notes are saved here, right? So all the valuation, everything, or all the notes that we make is basically saved here. And even the recordings are there. So let's say you want to go through the recorded videos. Let's say, how was it done on 12th of August? You will be able to access that here. I'll just show it to you. Pharma French. So this is just basically me teaching equity. All but difficult names, simple idea. Okay. Pastor Stamberg model. So this is basically how then there is your a recorded video is basically macroeconomic. Saved. Okay. Multi-factor model. So that's about how your or what KPME is going to give you. Sorry. So you are going to get all the class notes. Class notes means everything that we teach, everything that we write gets converted into a PDF file and is shared with you. You all will get the course slides. You all will get the recorded videos in case you all miss. You all will have virtual lecture links. So in case you all want to attend it online, you will have that. And video learning also, as in there are some small video tips or some small summaries and all those things are also uploaded here. Okay. So this is basically how the Kaplan's LMS would work. Candidate support. Now this is something, I can see on paper this looks like this, but then the culture of candidate support that Kaplan has built is amazing. So what we do is, and then I'll just give you an example. Early morning when I wake up, I check my phone. There are 100 messages on WhatsApp across different groups. So I'm a member of almost 30 to 40 WhatsApp groups, right? All different batches. And in every batch, you will see so much participation, students asking questions. All trainers are there in all the WhatsApp groups answering the questions. And most of the time I've seen that even before we answering the question, there would be some other student who would have answered the question. So there is definitely a very lively environment that you would be a part of even outside the sessions. In addition to that, you all will get access to engage and communicate with CFA alumni, our ex-students, academic counseling in case you want to understand about how should you proceed ahead in this business. We will definitely advise you all on that too. Now, talking about placement opportunities. Now, do we provide placement opportunities? No. As in, this is not something that Kaplan actually is meant for. But then in the past, what has happened is, see, we do a lot of corporate training also. We go to corporates, we train there. And what we've seen is, a lot of times corporates come back to us saying, hey, do you have 5 CFA level 1 cleared people? Because we want to hire some CFA level 1 cleared students, right, for fresher roles or for entry level or for mid to junior level roles. That's it. And we say that, yeah, we have a level 2 WhatsApp group. Every student in that level 2 WhatsApp group has cleared level 1, right? And then we just post messages out there and you all can reach out to the companies. So we've been a bridge in helping students or our students get jobs in these organizations. It's not that we provide it as a service. We approach corporates and say that hire people from our institute. No, but then corporates have come to us and we've been more than happy to help students getting placed also, right? And these are some organizations where our students have got placed. And these are some testimonials that we have received. You can take a minute and go through these. Okay. Now, important. When are we starting? When are we ending? What is the timing? When is it going to be? All of that is here. So prep, we are starting on 1st of March. So just 3-4 days. We'll end it on 17th of July. These sessions will be done on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And the sessions will be from 6:30 to 9:30 generally. But during Ramadan time, this is only during Ramadan time, our sessions will be 8:30 to 10:30. So this is basically where you will have your prep. Then you will have your revision, 6 days. 6th of August to 21st of August, right? And this will only be on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, 9 to 6 p.m. So they want to be intense, say 6 days. And you might ask, will we be able to attend full day sessions? Very, very easily. With the exam so close by, you all will be in that mood to understand everything, attend, and take the or extract everything that is there in those sessions. And during revision sessions, we also solve a lot of questions. So close to 200 questions are also solved. Not 200 case studies, 200 questions. So you can expect like 20 case studies or slightly more than 20 case studies, maybe 30 to 40 case studies get solved during the revision sessions. Okay. Now, what are the fees? Now, this is for the face-to-face program. Okay. So now imagine, so understand that there is a prep starting from March to mid-July. Revision is basically those 6 days. And in case you just want the books. So let me tell you, in case you just want to attend the revision, 6 days of training, the fees is 6,500. Okay. Now, in case you all want to attend only the prep without the revision, the fees is 12,127. Now, this is like the combo, right? As in, think of this as, right? Yeah, this is like, as in, I sometimes joke saying, this is like the Coke, this is the burger, right? And this is basically the combo together. Coke plus a meal that you get is 15,577. So individually, when you buy it, it is definitely more expensive, and otherwise it is 15,577. And in case you just want the books, this is it, 2258. Okay. Now, what should you ideally enroll for? See, if you are a person who doesn't want to be taught, as in you want to study on your own, just buy the books. If you've already given the exam, right, and you missed by a very small amount, as in you let's say few questions here and there, and you didn't clear the exam, in that case you can study right now on your own and come for revisions. But if you're doing it for the first time, you'll have not given the exam before, or if you have given but then you missed by a huge margin, then either go for prep, or the best would be enhanced prep, because see, revisions are very, very important, right? As in, you cannot ignore revisions. Even the ones who have done the exam before, not cleared, as in if they have studied everything, I still recommend them to go for revisions. Okay. Now, anyone who has attended this webinar is going to have a 5% discount, and also a 2-day financial modeling program that will be completely free. So in this program, we will teach about how to build a financial model right from scratch. That is basically the purpose of this financial modeling program. Now remember, this is for face-to-face. For live online, the fees is different. It is slightly lesser. I would say like 3,000 dirhams lesser on an average. Revision is 4,875. Books is the same. Prep is 9,000. Enhanced prep is 11,500. Even for this, you all have a 5% discount in addition to what is mentioned here, and 2-day free financial modeling program for all of you who enroll for this. Okay. Sorry. Now, before I move ahead, any questions on anything that we have discussed? Anything, as in smallest of questions, or anything which is not clear, or you all need, let's say, more information? Yes, Ravi, Shubhani, any questions? Shubhani, all good? Yes. Ravi, any questions? Okay, so now I'll just explain you how one of our demo sessions look like. Okay, so, and I'll just show you a prep session. I'll maybe show you a 5-minute video so that you'll understand how does it work. Okay, just a second. And I'll show you level 2 video itself. So this, if you see, is the level 2 prep. This is basically prep as in where we teach, and this is basically how our video, or basically this is how a session here looks like. Okay, just a second. Yeah, so that you'll have a feel about how the exams are conducted. Just a second. Oh, so sorry. Where was it? Sorry. Yeah. So let's say this is basically how our sessions look like. Just realize I'm not
hit the record button. Okay, so now the session is being recorded.
Just a second. You can even change the speed here.
Million 10. So interest expense will be 10. Is it clear? 10% of, this is nothing but 100 million into 10%, which will be 10 million. Is it clear? No. Just to make the calculations a bit simple, let us take this as 290. So this EBIT will be 210. Just to make it simple, okay? Just to make calculation simple. So profit before tax will be EBIT minus interest and expense. So it will be 200. Now income tax should be, let's say it's at 50%. So income tax should be 100. So what is the profit after tax? 100. Is it clear? Now equity charge. Now what is that shareholders want? Now if shareholders have put $300 million and they expect, right, the cost of equity, that is they expect 20%. So how much do they expect in dollar amount? Can you tell me how much do they expect? 60, right? So this should be 300 million into 20%. So this should be 60 million. So what is left is 40 million. Okay, and this is nothing but your residual income. Okay, equity charge is, what do you mean by equity charge? Right, think of this as dollar returns. Right, we always thought of cost of equity as percentage. Think about this as dollar returns that shareholders expect. Is it clear?
So yeah, this is basically just an example of how a session is done. And so there is a lot of handwritten notes that we provide, and all these things, if you see, you will have, as in the same session that I've taught, you will also have that in the form of a PDF, right? So everything will also be there in the form of a PDF, which you can download, and you all can basically access those PDF also. So everything that is being taught is also basically in the form of a PDF. Okay. So this is basically how we do it. Now, any questions before we wind up the session? Anything where you need a bit more clarity? Any questions or anything more from my end that you would need? Or even in case you all want to ask more, you all can also reach out to me, right? So you can reach out to me on shannon.lathara@kaplanme.com, or you all can also email or reach out to me on my phone 05-854-2281. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone, for taking time on a weekend and attending these sessions. And I wish to see you all soon in the classroom. Thank you very much.